Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the PyJ podcast. We are here once again with Zelinator, but we also have a special guest. Instead of Zealot for Christ, we have Sage.
Hello, I am honored.
It's nice to have you. Hello, Alex, as well. How are
Hello,
you?
everybody.
Hi, Alex.
So, Isaac is not going to be in this one, primarily because this week I did tell the guys what the topic of choice is going to be, and Isaac doesn't really relate. If you watched the last episode, you might have an idea of what we're talking about, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So,
Schedule
as
change
always, schedule change as well. We're recording this on Tuesday. It will still come out every Sunday for the podcast, but I'm recording this on Tuesday, so we don't have as much to talk about, even less than last week. But it's fine. Fine. So, we're going to kick it off with the first segment, as always. This week, So, Sage, if you've been watching, you should know that primarily for this, we just talk about what we've done this week, what we want to do next week.
Cool.
So, would anybody like to go first?
I guess I will.
You can go ahead.
All right.
Okay, Alex.
So, this week in the 2 days or 3 days,
Yeah.
I did record that entire 3-hour and 45-minute interview with some of the cast.
Oh, that's cool.
So, hopefully that turned out well. And then today, I also worked on a lot more stuff, but, well, I have a lot more plans now for Pycraft Syndicate Season 4. And then I've also gotten back to, I'm hoping I can upload a video a day again. So I've already getting those all lined up. I just need to edit them and then upload them. And
Good
that's
luck with
pretty
that.
much it for me.
I suck at uploading every day. I tried to do that when I was younger, and I was awful at it. So.
My record is like 3 weeks. And then
Oh, damn.
Wow. Good. I'll go next. I finished and I recorded another episode of Minecraft Syndicate. So that'll be coming out most likely Wednesday, which is tomorrow by the time we're recording this. What else have I done? I made a sculpture of myself for my sculpting class. I made a pretty cool 3D model of the news logo from the Avengers episode of News.
Or is it?
Or is it?
Or is it?
I haven't done much else. This week we are planning to have Kiana and Tyler come to visit, and we are potentially going to go cliff jumping again. So if any of you guys saw my cliff jumping vlog, there will be I guess a sequel of sorts in the next coming weeks.
That is cool.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we can do that. That should be a lot of fun. But yeah, other than that, since it's only been like 3 days, I haven't done much else.
Sorry about that.
No, it's good. I mean, we just got to start getting it on schedule so that way we have more to talk about later. But the only thing that really gets affected by that is a little bit of the This Week and mostly what's going on in the world, because not much can go on in the world in 2 days.
Oof.
You never know.
A lot happens in Amarillo.
Well, I mean,
weather-wise, it's crazy over here.
Yeah, I know. You guys have been talking about all the snow and everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We just get wind down here. It's been really windy in these past few days.
We got some rain last night, and it was nice. I love rain. I love it so much. I love the cold.
I'm letting the dogs out right now.
Goes out. Then I complain.
When do you complain?
When it's rainy and the power goes out.
Oh yeah. Go out and enjoy the rain. Go play outside. Play with a stick like our ancestors used to do.
Wow. Yeah, it snowed last night, and then it stopped around 9 in the morning. So it was snowing all night.
Wow.
Yeah, And I've been here about almost 2 months, and this is only the second time it's snowed. It's really weird. It's snowed twice. We've had a thunderstorm, but normally it's like 40 degrees like all the time. Right now it's like what is it? I think it's 20 degrees outside. It is.
How hot does it get like in the summer?
Oh, it gets to like 90s. Yeah, it's 34 actually. It's warming up. Oh, it's cold.
So what about you, Sage? What's going on for you this week? What have you done this week? What do you want to do next week? Any plans?
This week I mainly worked. My work schedule, my work it starts on Wednesdays, so my week is never Monday through Friday. Yeah, but I worked. I had to pick up today actually. I planned to pick up some Valentine's Day stuff for Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to meet someone, and last night decided to snow, so it was fun driving in that.
I've driven in a very scary rainstorm,
Oof.
and that was scary enough for me. I can't imagine driving in snow. I'd be tense the entire time.
Over here, the cool thing though is it doesn't snow often, so nobody has snow tires, so everybody drives slow. It's not like people are used to it and drive around you quick or anything.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
It's an experience. It's when we first drove because I had to go pick her up from work. It snowed in the middle of the day, and I slid 3 times on the way.
Yeah, that I would just crap myself. I would cry.
I was crying. I literally took a left through an intersection going 9 miles an hour, and I slowed down 9, and I slowed down to make the turn, and the back of my car skidded like probably 4 inches. Yeah, I was like, maybe let's not. Yeah, and if you drive on snow, like it hasn't been plowed, like paved, your car kind of paves it. But like, let's say you do the little swervies that you normally do, you're more likely to slide on the thing of snow instead of move it.
I'm good. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that kind of fear.
Yeah, but it's something. It's always cold. Like the winter, it's pretty cold. But yeah, honestly, I haven't done much. I've mainly been going to work because I do night shift, and then we've been super tight on money, just because it costs a lot to come over here, and we're still trying to like make money right now.
Yeah.
But we're getting paid this week, so we're gonna hopefully upgrade the house with food and stuff. But yeah,
Well, upgrade the house with food.
I've personally, this is kind of random, but I've personally had to stop eating out as much because Caroline's like, okay, look, we can't afford that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
I hate how expensive fast food.
Yeah.
Because, when you have money, it's like, oh, this is really cheap. I can eat a whole bunch of it. But the moment you live on your own, the moment it's all based on your budget.
Ooh, you're not wrong.
Oh.
You're not wrong.
What the? Scary.
Gas got to 193, so that was pretty cool.
That sounds amazing.
It was pretty cool, yeah. Filled the car up on $27.
What is do you know anything about like the money-wise state of Alaska, Alex? Since you're moving there, do you know anything about like gas and stuff?
No, not the specifics, but I know that the average, it's like 20% less cost of living than here in California.
That's nice.
Yeah, whenever I would think about Alaska, I never quite understood living, like how that works, just because in some areas the importing thing makes stuff cost a lot, in other areas it's the opposite. And so I'm like, I'm not sure how that works. that's been the one state like looking around like, oh, I wonder where I would live. I just never touched Alaska. I was like, I don't understand it. Like it's pretty, but money wise, I just was like, what? Again,
Yeah.
not to be obviously like hating on it. I love it. It's pretty, but
I don't know where I want to live in the long run because I know when I was younger, I had a very high interest in Washington, but Washington or Idaho, one of the two, just because like I like the seasons, but I really like the mountains that they have in Washington. Think about being a mountain man, but I also don't know if I want to do that anymore.
mountain man, but you don't want the cold.
I like the cold. Don't get me wrong. I like the cold. I just don't want it to be cold forever. I want a place that gives me all 4 seasons and, you know, not just 2. Like California, you get hot or more hot.
You're not wrong.
Arizona, you get really hot or really cold. It sounds like you guys have pretty decent seasons because I mean it's still technically winter, so I mean it makes sense that it's
Yeah.
pretty cold up there for you.
Yeah, in Amarillo, the winter is like it's shifted. Besides all the other, we have all 4 seasons, but winter doesn't have a peak until February.
Wow.
So it's like February is winter, but the coldest is February. So like the ending of winter is the coldest. It's weird. Or the ending of winter. I mean, it's weird. But yeah, you get spring, fall. You go throughout the year. You can be as high as 90s and as low as like 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Hey.
I don't know. I don't know where I want to live eventually. Figure it out when I get there. That being said, oh, also I wanted to mention. What did I want to mention? There was 2 other things I realized that I did this, or I'm going to do. So I realized I also started playing the Walking Dead video games again this week, and I forgot how much I liked the story, especially now that I have all the episodes, because I used to only play the first episode because it was free. And when you actually get to play a whole game, the story is so much better.
I could imagine.
And then I'm also putting in applications for more jobs this week because I need money. I'm like already in debt, and I don't need that in my life. So yeah, that's kind of the end. What, Alex?
I planned ahead. VR will not put me in debt. I will still have cash left over. I just, have a few more weeks until if it comes back in stock or not.
Well, I'm happy you're doing good, Alex. So that being said, I think we can move on to the what's going on in the world today segment. And we don't have much to talk about on mine and Alex's end because we didn't really know what to talk about, but it seems like Sage has some stuff. So if you want to kind of start talking about some of what you wrote down.
Oh yeah. Let me pull that up. I put it on the doc.
Give us a learning.
So let's see. Sit down, dog. Yeah,
You can go in order, not in order. It's up to you.
Okay. Are we talking about like what's going on over here where I'm living?
Well, like anything. Like it could be just news today, political stuff, non-political stuff. It could be video games you heard are coming out. It could just be anything that's like just news-ish.
All right. Yeah, we there's this place. Can you guys hear me good?
Yeah, you're a little farther away, but we can hear you.
Here, I'll get closer. I gotta like wipe the mud off my dog's paws because I had to go outside.
No problem.
But yeah, we have this place out here. Kind of like Harkins, the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if I think I told you about this. I don't remember, but it's basically it's kind of like Dave and Buster's, and it just has like a bunch of like it has an arcade inside, it has a restaurant, it has all kinds, and it has like an escape room in it too, which is really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Love escape rooms.
Yeah, it has a bowling alley, it has a bar, it has this thing where you can like strap yourself in and you can like tightrope walk kind of, but it's like a really thin piece of wood. Yeah, and the movies are like normal price. They have a movie theater in there, and it's what is it? It's $5 a person on Tuesdays, and the typical movies. I didn't know until we went. The typical like it's in IMAX if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So you get to see an IMAX movie for $5, and you have a recliner, and the recliner, like it's electric, but it also has a heater in it. So that was really cool to discover when we were out here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. We actually went to a theater a little bit ago. They opened this new theater. Or maybe was it a new theater? I don't remember where we went, but we went to a theater that had heated seats. But we
That's
didn't
cool.
know they had heated seats because we went there because the seats moved with the movie. That was our whole thing. But not only did they move with the movie, they had heaters, and we didn't know that. And I remember Jonathan, my 8-year-old brother, just sits down and he accidentally hits the button that none of us knew was there. And out of
Yeah.
nowhere, his seat starts getting super, super hot because he put it on the highest level.
Yeah.
And he starts screaming bloody murder because he doesn't know
Uh-huh.
what's wrong with his seat. And none of us knew
Oh,
what was wrong with our seat till we were like, oh, newfangled technology. They have heated seats. Let's turn that off. It was
it's
just really funny.
That's
We
hilarious.
we thought like one of the wires inside was broken or something and having like a malfunction because we thought, oh, if it's moving, that's technology. Maybe it like short circuited and now like it's heating up. It's about to light on fire. We didn't know what was
Yeah.
going on.
Oh yeah. No, that's crazy. Dang.
You got anything else?
Oh yeah. This is like it's yeah, over here. When we first got here we noticed there's a lot of stray dogs. They in Amarillo, they have a big issue with stray dogs. Like there's just way too many dogs. Like there's like I can think of 5 to 10 strays that just walk around all the time.
Really?
It's kind of trippy. At first, there's like this old guy that lives next to us. He doesn't own these dogs, but there's this boy and girl pit bull, and they guard his house.
Oh,
Yeah, they're not aggressive or anything, but they like just stand guard over there. Yeah, it's nuts. And I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. I was like, Caroline loves dogs. I was like, okay, but don't careful. I don't know if it's bad or not.
yeah.
But they were actually really nice dogs. And the dogs like to go. We have an alleyway in the back, so like the backyards from different houses face each other. And so the stray dogs like to go in the alley and like chill with all the dogs.
Nice.
And like just go up to their gate and be like, hello, and then the dogs lean over and it's
Hello.
hello. It's yeah, I was driving Caroline to work one day when I didn't have work, and the radio they like talked about it. Like they just don't have the regulations like California with like neutering. They don't have as many places that neuter and spay dogs, like require it kind of thing when you get a puppy or whatever, or like do
Yeah.
shots. So yeah, they just because of that, Amarillo has a weird issue where there's just a ton of dogs. Yeah. Oh, and the water like from the tap is disgusting.
Why would you try
Okay.
it?
Well, it's not even like normal tap water. It's like really, really unfiltered. It's gross. It's really bad. Like it's not terrible, but it's when we were first out here, especially when we were first out here, we were a lot worse off on money. But we had water bottles, but we couldn't afford to buy more. So for like a week, we had to do tap water. But I was like, I'm just not drinking water. That's I did not like it. It was very like metallic. It was not.
Just get a water filter of your own. Would
Dude,
that help? Like one
we
of those
bought
weird
one.
straw
Yeah,
things they have where you can just.
true. We were gonna get a pitcher, the like ones you just put water in, like a
Oh
college
yeah,
student.
yeah, yeah.
But we just bought the one you put on the sink, but it didn't. do anything. I don't know. Maybe we did something wrong, but we put it on and turned it on and everything, and it didn't make the water taste any different.
Maybe we're just stupid. Maybe we don't know how it all works.
I'm sure we could have messed something up. I don't even know, but yeah, we're like, well, we'll buy a pitcher or something. Yeah, that's one of the things with Umbrella too. Is like one of our electrician was like, yeah, no, we don't have good water here. But they have a lot of filtered water stations where you can buy water.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And like some places make it into a restaurant. So like the
A
distilled.
restaurant?
No, yeah, like the distilled.
You just
It's
get
weird.
seated at a table and order your water.
No, seriously, they have these little like an ATM almost thing where you go up and like kind of like at a grocery store where you get water. But some places changed it into like not a restaurant, but like Starbucks. Like it's like Texas Tea. That's the one down the street. And they sell tea, they sell water, they sell all kinds of drinks, and that's where you can get filtered water so you can get the drinks. So yeah, that was a new thing.
That's
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, got anything else to mention?
Let me see. I thought it was a good idea. I was watching your podcast and I was like, ooh, I got an idea for a podcast.
Okay.
We should talk about our work / job experience, like beginning. So if you first started work, okay, my first job, and then I did school. And
I've
then I did
never
work or
worked.
whatever. Oh,
Good for you, Alex.
that's cool, man.
Didn't you do the internship though?
I got paid, but that was. Well, actually, I did not get paid for the internship. I got paid for the school part, but I guess yes, that would be considered work. But I don't consider it work because I was enjoying it.
Well, you can enjoy your job. That's just what people. It's not often.
It's not often, but
People can enjoy their work. It's just hard to get a job like that.
Did you enjoy your job, Joey?
You know, there were a lot of good things about my jobs, my two jobs that I had, and a lot of bad. They were like, with
Chester.
it paid pretty well. I got a lot of job. It was like the first time I was able to get job experience under my belt for future jobs. I learned how to cook, clean, sanitize, do all this stuff for like potential other jobs that I'd have in the future. The only thing is I just I mainly served old people, and they are so ungrateful. Like they're so mean. They don't care. They just look at you like you're this millennial piece of garbage. No, it's true. And then they it's just awful because like I would go and like refill a lady's tea, and then she'd give me the coldest death stare. Some of them would yell at me to get more tea. Like, jerk, I'm trying to help you. Stop yelling at me. I'm sensitive.
I'm getting you tea, man.
I'm getting.
That
And then
sounds awful.
gelato was nice just because I was like, that helped me learn more about like registers, things like that. Got me kind of, serving, scooping, learning flavors, how to manage money and things like that. I did a lot of managing of money, which helped a lot. However, it was in a dying mall, so every single customer was either homeless or on drugs.
Oh well, that's fine. Hey man, customers are customers.
We also didn't have more than half of the items that were on the menu, which was an awkward thing to have to tell the customers.
We don't have that.
Yeah, it was like so sad. They were like, "Hey, do you have can I get a lemonade?" Oh, well, I can give you this banana ice cream if you want.
That's not lemonade.
It's not lemonade, but it's
you
can have some.
You got an iced tea? No, but I have a banana milkshake. You got some without bananas?
It was awful. You know what made me mad was when people would order things that weren't ice cream. Like even things that we did have on the menu. I don't want to serve you something. You're at a gelato place. Get gelato. Do not
I,
order a root beer float, okay?
what
I
is
don't want to.
gelato?
Gelato is Italian ice cream. It's like ice cream, but it's all natural. There's no preservatives, no fake coloring. Um, a lot of the flavors are handcrafted. The place I worked at, they literally made new batches of every flavor every single morning. So like,
Okay,
and it's only run by like 3 people, so it's kind of a lot of work.
there you go.
But yeah, I mean, certain flavors had certain specifications about why it's its own gelato. Like the mint was 100% mint from Italy, like straight from Italy.
Oh,
Um, the chocolate was mocha from Belgium, I think.
huh.
They had a lot of just really natural, literal ingredients instead of having a bunch of just, you know, dairy
Yeah.
crap and real ice cream. I like ice cream. I'm just saying I had to support gelato for such a long time
Well, yeah,
that
you have
now
that. Oh yeah,
yeah,
this is how it is. Yeah, that's cool, man.
yeah,
I know there's
yeah.
I know there's I forget what it's called, but Caroline likes the Mexican, and it's sounds similar. It's nothing. It's the same thing as ice cream, but it's made with water instead of.
Yeah, we have we have a couple vegan options that don't require any dairy or anything. Personally, they're really good, but I'm not a fan.
Uh,
I prefer oh god, I loved the mint. The mint, they weren't kidding about the whole mint straight from Italy is better than just like regular mint flavoring. It's
mm.
just mm-mm, mm. There are times where I want to go back and order gelato from that place just because how good it was. Because no joke, it was in a dying mall, but the gelato was fan frickin' tastic.
That's
But
awesome.
I don't want to go there because if I run into my boss, then she's gonna be like, "Hey, you want to come back and work here?" And I'm gonna be like, "No, it scared me." I hated it there. I hated it. I liked it, but I hated it.
Huh.
Um, I also got paid less than minimum wage, so that's another reason why I was like,
Ooh.
I'm good. It's called minimum for a reason.
Oh, you would be surprised how that minimum wage rule works. It's it's crazy. It like depends. It makes sense, but it depends on how many employees and if it's a chain or not, and all these different things.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
like, I remember when I worked for a church for the what is the camp called for Emmanuel? The village or whatever.
Forced home.
Forest Home. Yep, that's it. I didn't work for the village, but Forest Home, we made less than minimum wage because they didn't have enough employees, and that was the weirdest thing to me. I was like, "What? Yeah, well, that's how it works." That's how I learned. I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, nah, yeah, because I right out of high school, like I worked the last week of high school. It was my first job, and I just did warehouse for a while. That was warehouse, and so that was a trip to change to that pay because warehouse pays a lot.
Yeah.
It was our graduation, so it was 2018. I made 10. No, I made 12 something the hour, and then I got a raise every month. Or no, yeah, I got a raise every month. So I went from like 12.25 to 13.25 or something like that. I progressively went up to $1 up. It was the worst job I've ever had. I hated it. I will never do warehouse again. That was terrible. It's horrible for your body. It's mentally horrible because how fast you have to go. I remember I'll
Yeah.
never forget. I had to do for the thing they always pushed was 400 packages a minute or an hour, not a minute. That's ridiculous. But 400 packages an hour. So that means it didn't matter what size or what shape it was. I had to put it into the truck correctly in that speed. Yeah, it was not fun. It got to a point where I would essentially throw things. I tossed them underhand. It's not like I threw them over my head, but I threw them. And I was like, I saw this big box come through, and I just was going muscle memory, and I was like, that's a TV. Let's relax.
Yeah.
And I went to get it, and I went to fix it, and the guy that was helping me was like, "Hey man, what are you doing? We don't got to slow down, isn't that?" And I'm like, "Bro, it's like a 65-inch TV." He's like, "Oh, it's fine. They got a crush weight to them. You can throw them pretty hard, and they won't even touch the TV." And I was like, "Oh look,
Yeah,
I'm not,
I don't know about that.
yeah, yep, I'm not doing that." But yeah,
Because if
I
I
did.
was the guy ordering the TV, I would not be happy with that kind of
Yep,
shit.
it's literally it's a jokes where your FedEx package is all dented and crap.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
why you
in-
gotta use UPS. I
True.
don't know.
I don't
Just
even
my,
know either.
I don't
just
know.
I like FedEx.
I just know my dad works at UPS, so I have to support him in everything. I'm a UPS person. I don't.
Your,
FedEx is like the family enemy.
your dad did not like when I worked at FedEx.
Yeah.
I remember
Did
that.
you ever hear that there was this story? My dad has a photo. It's the best photo I've ever seen, where one of my dad's drivers at
Uh-huh.
UPS was pulling out of a parking lot backwards, and when he pulled out, he hit a FedEx truck.
That's pretty cool.
That's
Wow.
amazing. You can't script that, you
You just
know?
get out. Hey man, what are you doing? What
This
do
is
you
my
mean?
place.
You hit my
Um,
truck. Why is your truck there? You better get out of here. This is UPS territory. More UPS guys end up coming in.
yeah. Oh
Yeah, it's
yeah, it's
nuts.
oh man. Well,
I should add that to the quick right. FedEx versus UPS.
FedEx.
Bro.
That'd be perfect. It'd be an amazing battle.
Dude.
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. You can go ahead. It's all good.
No, I don't know where.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did FedEx until my fall semester. Then I did college. And then I was like, okay, we're not doing college. I I I did a quarter. I did August to December, and then I was like, okay, hold on. I need to take a break from college and like figure out what I'm doing in my life. Because like I did terrible in school. I just did not learn anything. I don't learn from books like that. I can, but it's like I can't. Like I was in a university, and I was in a very high up program in the university. So I could do
Yeah.
fine in school. Anyone can do school if I did like community college or anything like that. But honestly, I was like, okay, but regardless of that, like I always keep that in mind because I have a bad thought when it comes to college, but I always remember college is very different than that. But regardless, I took some time off. I was like, okay, hold on, I got to figure out what I'm doing with my life. Um, yeah, it was a lot of like, well, what am I supposed to do? I told myself I'm gonna do this military chaplaincy career. How am I supposed to do that without school? This, that. And I realized, you know what? If it's there for me, it'll be there for me. But I'm gonna focus on providing money right now because I don't want to spend another dime in something I'm not sure about because I already have debt. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I took like 2 or 3 months off. I didn't need to take that much off. I was kind of messing around to be honest. And then I started warehouse work again. Told myself I would never do that. But I went for a temp agency. So if the job didn't like me, they can just transfer me to another warehouse. So I don't have to worry about doing good, if that makes sense. Like obviously I can't just constantly do nothing, but I can't get fired. Like
Yeah.
they don't hire or fire people. You kind of just come in. It's weird. Yeah, they said no,
That
you
is
don't
weird.
really. Like I called them. I was like, hey, like I'm not working here after I'd done, and they're like, yeah, once you just stop, once you tell us and then you stop showing up for 2 months, then you don't work here. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah, but I did that. I did that from March to May, and then I hated it. And then we got a job at the camp, the church camp. Caroline or Kim helped me get that because Clarissa, I think her name is. Her husband works up there.
Ciara.
Ciara, my bad. That's her sister.
Yeah.
They got me a job up there, and so Caroline and I did that from May till September, and then we let them know that I proposed and we got married. So I proposed in February and we got married in September. And so I was like, hey, we got to take off. We did seasonal anyway, so that was the end. We got married, and then we lived with Kim for a few months, and then we moved out here. We've been here for about 2 months now. So yeah, that's been my
Nice.
work slash school experience so far.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's a good time to start heading into the main topic of today's podcast.
Okay.
Today, we are going to be talking about everything that we hate or
Oof.
find wrong about our high school. We're not going to be pointing out anybody's real names because it's mostly teachers and faculty. Anyway, so like I was saying, we're going to be basically just bashing everything that we found wrong or still currently wrong at our high school. What do we want to give our high school's fake name? Just 3 initials that we can change. We'll call it XYZ. All right, the high school of XYZ. Who wants to start? Like, where do we even begin? Do we want to
I
just
guess
like
we'll start when
go
we
through the
first got
years?
there. We'll just go chronological order. That's
Yeah.
probably
All right,
easiest.
all right.
Oh, dude, like 2 days in this. You guys
Yeah.
are trespassing in the hallways.
Dude. Yeah, Mrs. Flambergast. I don't know.
Oh, shoot! I was about to say her name.
No, Mrs. Flambergast. She.
I was literally about to be like, no, Joey, it's.
No, she. I don't understand. I mean, actually, honestly, I can just bleep out their names because it's going to be easier for us to. If I edit the podcast anyway, go ahead and say real names. I'll just bleep out whatever we say for anybody's personal info. But that being said, yeah, Mrs.
Wrong name.
No.
Bethany.
Mrs.
Bethany.
got so angry at us for walking in the hallways
After
like
school.
after school. We had forgotten books or something, didn't we? Like we went
We
back.
needed to go I don't remember why, but we needed to go somewhere, and they only had the little daycare thing for high schoolers,
Yeah.
which I was like, okay,
Okay.
all right, boomer.
It was like she threatened to suspend us.
Bet.
Like I didn't understand. I was like, are you kidding? Like we're freshmen. We don't know what's going on. We don't know where we are. Like it's our second day.
Yeah, I was like, what?
That
Was Alex
was
there?
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I couldn't remember who was there. I know. Was it all 4 of us? You two,
think
and then
so.
Brett.
I
Crazy.
think it was, yeah. Trying to think what else do we have freshman year? Like I'm trying to think because most of our problems came from faculty, so I'm trying to think of like who we had faculty wise. You know who wasn't an issue? Mr.
Daniel.
He
Oh,
was
Daniel.
great,
My man,
dude. What a great man.
that guy was phenomenal.
I will say it was kind of stupid when he would stare at his wrist and wait
You're
for
gonna
us to
keep
be
me waiting.
quiet.
You done yet?
Like, cause he kept looking at his watch every day, but there was that one day. Was it Alex? Was it you who called him out? Who?
I don't think it was me. It's someone else.
Someone else called him out because he didn't have the watch on anymore, so he was just staring at a freckle.
Blank wrist.
It was
What are you
so
looking
dumb.
at?
It's like it was so ridiculous, but we grew to love him. He's a great guy.
Friggin'
Uh,
Daniel.
Well,
What else do
you
we
made him
have?
your side of the quick, right?
Yeah. I mean, our first 2 years, we obviously had a big one, which was Miss.
Dude, I
You
love
want to start going on the
Hogwarts.
stories?
Oh my god. Jesus.
Where do we
Where do
even
you
begin?
start?
What was the first thing? I think the first thing was Brent because it was like Brent's first day and he was
Yeah.
wearing a beanie. Or yeah, a beanie. And
Yeah.
in high school we had dress codes and the dress code said that you couldn't wear hats or something, but you could wear beanies. Like beanies were an exception. And she like yelled at him and was like screaming saying, "Hey, you're going to have to go to the principal's office for that kind of behavior." And he was like, I don't
What? I don't.
what I don't understand. And he pulls out the paper in front of her. This is something I always hated about
Hogwarts.
we had to show her the rules ourselves so many times. Like it was ridiculous. Like I understand following rules. It's not like I'm trying to say we were perfect by any means, but
No.
we also knew what the rules were and she twisted the rule. Which there's way better examples than Brent's beanie.
Oh my god, bro.
I mean, you're the one that had most problems with her. So I mean, do you want to give a couple stories about
Please.
Miss Pobans?
Bro, first time with her, she first experience, I never even had her as a teacher. I would
Oh, that's right.
I would secretly hold hands with my girlfriend and she would be upset. And I was like, who are you? Literally, the beginning was dirty looks. And Carolina was like, oh yeah, it's Miss
Hogwarts.
this is that. And I was like, what does she do? Oh, she's an art teacher and this and that, middle school. Oh, okay. And then she would eventually like tell me to stop in passive, like, you need to not do that. Ugh. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what? Yeah, and then we're going through high school, and then I have to have art, and I picked the class. And when you pick the class, it didn't. I don't think, unless I did it wrong, it didn't tell you what teacher. You just picked the class, and then like a week.
Found out orientation.
Yes, that's what it was. Like a week before school or at orientation, same thing. They'd be like, okay, so here are the teachers that teach art. And so I remember going in, and I was like, oh Jesus. and then we go in, and I was the only art class that had all the senior black guys. And I was like, okay, guess I'm just gonna sit over here. Hello, hi. I'm like a sophomore. I don't know these guys. They're like 8 feet tall. I'm like tiny. So I sat there. And honestly, they made themselves out to be like class clowns / like annoying. But once I was in that class, I was like, oh no, these guys are cool. Because
Hogwarts.
like she would just be doing stuff, and I get it, they were messing around in class, but oh my god, she was just like, oh my god, like is there something you would like to share with the whole class? If someone was like murmuring in the back, and I was like, can we just they were laughing because she made us look at this giant picture of a naked person.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember
a
doing that too. That
sculpture.
was she would get all mad at when some of us would laugh.
What's so funny?
Oh, that was so great.
You have to look at the picture.
She knew damn well what was so funny. It's like I don't understand why high school teachers try and sit there and be like, "Don't laugh. You're going to be looking at boobs in this class, but you're not allowed to say anything." Like, what do you mean we're not allowed to say anything? We are little teenagers seeing boobs in class when, like, it's funny to us. We're kids.
The thing I didn't understand is we didn't have like a regular high school where like you had sex ed or something that warranted seeing nudity. She was teaching us about the different forms of art and insisted to project a sculpture of a naked dude. I was like, what is the why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why the picture in the textbook is enough in a high school? Why would you like? Oh, you guys have to look at it. Stop laughing. Why? Why would you? It's
She was
so
insane.
yeah. She told me I didn't respect the military for wearing a baseball hat. So
Oh, that was such a good one.
I was
That
like,
was
I'm a
such a good one. Because didn't you get like a note from Mrs. Her name?
Miss.
Ben 10.
Yeah, I wore a
Yeah.
hat. I honestly, the only times I wore hats most in high school, but I was like, you know what? I looked through the rules and I was like, okay, I'm tired of this dress code where I can't wear hats, I can't wear this, I can't wear certain types of this. I was like, okay, that's stupid because your hair needs to be appropriate. But I was like, it's long, so let me put a hat on. So I looked through the thing. They said hats. There's nothing in that thing about hats. Like there
Mhm.
is stuff about hats, but it's not. There's exceptions all throughout it. That was the stupid thing is they gave us a freaking book that told you rules, and then the second
Yeah.
you said, "Hey, so it doesn't say no hats. It says okay, not something that's gonna like make you look like a gangbanger." That's what all the rules were about.
Yeah.
Like you can't wear like your hat sideways. You can't, you know, you couldn't wear a giant hat or something distracting or something with band logos on it, or because that's gang
Yeah.
affiliation, something stupid. So yeah, I just wore my hat. I told Miss,
Ben
and
10.
I was like, "Hey, is it okay if I wear it?" Yeah, it's fine. This is that. Go, can I? She goes, "Are you gonna wear that to art?" I was like,
Miss
Ben 10.
already knew.
"Yeah." I was like, I I don't want to have to take it off for one period and then go home. It's my last hour of the day. What if I can I basically I was like, can I wear it? I was like, is that fine? She's like, yeah, just take a note.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I handed it to her and she was like, oh, this is yeah, and then gave a whole lecture about how it's disrespectful to the military because
Yeah.
you ought not
Because
to
the
wear
men who
hats
fought for
inside.
our freedom don't wear hats.
I was
Like,
like,
what?
they wear hats.
Yeah, they wear hats.
They what you're talking about is their caps, and that's their military uniform, and they can't wear that inside, and they don't dress in their or their camis or whatever, not their official uniform, like their formal ones. They don't wear that
Yeah.
inside. Yeah, that's just a rule. That's not hats. That's so irrelevant. Yeah, that's so like I get it. Like that's like a really strong Christian thing, like an old school thing where you don't wear hats inside. But that's a
Yeah.
personal belief. You're not the principal. Like I didn't understand.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful. This, that. Blah. But then she didn't get me in trouble because she can't. So it was like, what was the point? Just to make me feel bad?
I remember another time, PDA.
Oh my god, bro.
For those of you idiots watching this who don't know what PDA is, it's public display of affection. Meaning, you can't be all lovey-dovey, coochie-coochie, blah, 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 with your with your significant other at school. And respectfully, I get it. It can sometimes go overboard. People got pregnant at high school. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I remember
Hogwarts.
once PDA'd Kiana for side hugging her friend, which was
Love
a
it.
woman.
Gay.
Gay. Like I didn't.
Gay.
I don't understand. She got PD. She had to go to the office because she side hugged her friend.
I don't even know. That school's on
Did you
crack.
ever have issues with
Hogwarts.
Alex, or know of anything?
No, I never had her as a teacher.
So
I never
lucky.
encountered her.
Well, what kind of things did you have, Alex? What kind of issues did you have with these? We can go out of order a little bit, or in order if you have
Yeah.
something, or something you remember or can bring up for us to rant about.
Well, actually, there's two. I'm gonna start here, and that would be 10th grade English class.
Which was
The start of it.
Biscuits.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, oh. I don't. Which one's worse?
Biscuits.
Or
Hogwarts.
I don't know.
the initial issue with
Biscuits.
was obviously how she taught, because she taught at what students said was a college level. But I've had
No.
2 years of college now, and college is easier than the things that she had us do. We had a test every Friday, a quiz, no, a test every other Friday, a quiz every Wednesday, a project every week, a paper every other week.
No,
And all of
absolutely
these
not.
things, and then you also had random homework and classwork. Now, everything I just mentioned also had to go in the binder. You guys remember the binder?
Yeah.
I
You had
remember
to
that
have the
stupid
binder,
thing.
and it was the year that they changed all of the grading systems to specific points, so you had to get a certain amount of points in the class in order to pass. And if you got anything out of order or incorrect, or you forgot something, or you misspelled something,
Oh my god.
she would dock your grade completely. We all had Fs, didn't we?
Yeah, but
I
then she kept bumping stuff or whatever to help us not fail or whatever. Well, didn't
Like
she? Didn't
even
she
like the
bump us?
highest people, like people who were A+ students, were getting like
Yeah.
Cs. It was
Oh
insane.
god, I remember that. They were like devastated.
It was scary.
I I,
um
I gave up real soon. Like I
oh,
went
I gave
into
up too.
those.
I didn't think it was worth trying anymore. I thought I was just going to fail.
Ugh, I was like, well,
Um she was also crazy though. Not just school.
you're not wrong. You're
She
not wrong.
was mentally insane.
Oh my
She
god.
would sit there and cry for her son who was in the army, that like he could be dead right
I'm
now or
sorry. I'm
injured.
sorry. They said that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the military, by the way. It
No,
was
no,
just
not at
because of
all.
her situation. Like that stuff's scary. My cousin, or was at the time he was actually in the Marines, and there was a similar situation. That's what kind of pissed me off. Is a similar situation she was talking about. She literally mid class when we were like, I don't understand this. Oh, I don't understand that. This is what you're talking about. She sat down and started crying. I'm sorry. I'm not all there because they said that some kind of bombing or something happened over in this area and it could be him. And, that stuff really happens. And I'm like, that's not something to make an excuse out of. That's what annoyed me. I was like, I get it. You could be upset about it, but it was used as an excuse, or else she'd
Well,
be
yeah,
devastated.
that was the thing. I completely understood it the first time and even the second time. I even gave it to her the third time she started whining about it. But on the 8th time and the 9th time,
Yeah.
the 12th, it was like, all right,
Okay.
when you start doing this every single day,
My
I'm
son broke
starting to
his
get tired
finger.
of it.
My
Yeah,
8-year-old son broke his finger, and then he broke his neck, and then he
it
fell out
was
of an
insane.
18-story building. And
She gave us a like 10-minute long speech that we were unteachable.
I love that. I love that. I sat there, and she was like she was setting herself up for failure because she was sitting there like, yeah, well, there's this and that issue with the class, and you guys just always tell me how I'm doing stuff wrong. You guys are just unteachable. There are people who are unteachable. And I was sitting there like, well, that was the wrong thing to say. That was like, like you can, like you can be unprofessional and be like, well, it's your fault, this and that because I don't teach you right. Like that's fine. Okay, you're just ridiculous, but that's like not the right thing to say. That's not letting
Yeah.
someone to Christmas dinner. That's what that's what.
I don't think Alex gets that joke.
No, I don't think he knows
no,
it. I don't.
probably
Oh
not.
no,
Oh,
Alex.
John, you're
Little
playing. Oh,
side note, just so that you understand. Nah, I won't say that. Just know that Isaac wouldn't invite people to Christmas dinner based on things they believe. Let's just say that.
I think. Well, you just told him. I
That
don't know
sounds like
why.
Isaac, though.
I
Oh,
mean,
God.
yeah, we're not getting on that.
No, it's fine. Jesus.
No, so yeah, that yeah,
Biscuits.
Oh
was
my God.
insane. And
And
then there
talk
was the
about.
whole because obviously we went to a private school, so
Yeah.
we have God and Christianity and prayer and all that influenced into our work and lives.
Yeah.
So she once this got to a point where we were making her so like distraught and crazy and in her mind that eventually she just said she started crying in front of us and she was like, you know what? if you guys really want to get rid of me that bad, then I think you need to talk to God about it. I think you need to pray me out if you really want me to leave. Just pray that God takes me away. And I looked at her and I was like, oh wow, that's really not what Christianity's about. But I mean, if you say so.
But if you say so, whatever helps. Jesus.
Whatever helps. I never
Honestly,
actually prayed her out, but the thing was, it was
Yeah.
like, how are you going to tell a bunch of kids who are growing in their Christianity, like your whole job is not only to teach us, but being in a Christian school, you're supposed to teach us like the correct ways of Christianity, and you're going to sit there and say,
Pray us out.
hey, pray me out, pray that I get fired if you're that adamant about hating me. It's like, what?
That's
What do you mean?
what do you mean, bro? You want to talk about crackheads though? Bet you can't guess who the crackhead is at the Bloomington. Actual crackhead teacher.
Actual crackhead, like literal crackhead,
Actual,
or
literal, like a teacher. Yeah.
Flower.
What?
Flower.
Mr.
Flower.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Like. Yeah.
Do you like Mr.
Flower.
Alex at all?
Meh. I
Meh.
learned what I needed to know.
Hmm.
Math class
Flower.
was always good for me, and then I moved on to calculus. So the class itself, I was fine in.
He was insane. Like, I think he was actually clinically insane.
Yeah.
Like,
That school.
Biscuits.
it was scary because she was ridiculous. And
Hogwarts.
as well, but they got fired, so we didn't have to deal with them.
Flower.
Oh my god! Like, he would sit there and yell at students for talking, which sounds like a normal teacher thing to do in high school. Makes sense, but then when you wouldn't listen, when you would keep talking after he yells at you to shut up, he gets so angry and yell at you in a pitch and tone that is not morally correct in a high school teacher student setting, and then start doing push-ups. He started doing push-ups.
Everybody stop! Dead silent. Slams his head on the metal door like 18 times, and then comes
Oh
back.
yeah,
This
he
is
slammed his
because of
head.
you. This right here is because you guys don't listen. I'm sitting there like, I'm sorry. What?
He gets on the ground and starts doing push-ups, and he starts yelling, "I have to lower my blood pressure! I have to lower my blood pressure!" Like,
What is happening? What is happening?
what's happening? I remember there was one time, and it was the scariest yell I've ever heard from him, where he, two guys were talking. I think it was like Daniel and Dagan, and they wouldn't shut up after he yelled at them like 3 times, and finally he slams his arm against the whiteboard super hard and screams at a pitch I've never heard this man speak before, and you could audibly hear every other classroom around us go dead silent. He yelled so loud the whole school heard it.
You're not wrong.
It was insane. Yeah, he was just he was not in a good headspace, I don't think. Yeah. Oh, but if you're talking about
Flower.
that makes the connection to old Mr.
Sausage.
who was
Oh, I mean,
who was
Flower.
his friend.
was he a teacher? I mean, I don't even know if
He
he was
knew
a
what he was
teacher.
talking about. He just didn't know how to convey it. He wasn't a good teacher.
He was
like-
there for 2 months.
Yeah, I know.
I don't. He was there.
Didn't his
didn't
first day
learn.
he only teach how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something?
Yeah, and then the second day, okay, so this is how we're gonna grammatically write our names. And then and then for like 3 weeks, he just kept teaching us how to write our names and or collect homework. I was like,
Did you have
Sausage.
Alex?
yeah,
Yeah,
my bad.
I was in the other class
Yeah?
though.
Oh, you were, okay.
Most of these classes I didn't have with you guys.
That's such a bummer. Cause dude, Sage almost fought him. Like actually
did.
fought him.
Dude,
Like there's a difference between
Hogwarts.
where she just would yell at Sage and Sage would go get a note from,
Ben 10.
yeah.
but there's
Oh, God.
also
Sausage.
where he literally Sage started raising his voice.
Hold on. I mean, you need context. We did. He continuously. No, he had homework. After weeks of, oh, that's not how the homework's done. We're actually going to do it like this. He actually started accepting homework. We did a group thing. It was like a crap ton of work. That would have took like 3 days, and we were like, oh, well, we'll finish it now. We figured out how to do it. It's fine. We didn't care. We turned it in. We're like, hey, we're done. Oh, okay. Oh, you finished it too quick. I was like, okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to redo it to get on the same, stay on the level that we're all at. I gotta redo it. Oh, yeah. Like he went to, like it was on the table, and he went to pull it back, and I just put my hand down on it. I was like, what? What? I was like, no, we're not redoing it. That's ridiculous. I'm not gonna redo my in-class assignment so that I'm behind everyone. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Oh god,
The
this
fact
was
that he
so
wanted
many
us to
times.
redo it was just insane, and
That
it was so funny.
Yeah. No, go ahead. My
Oh
bad.
god. No, it's insane to think about that he always like he was gonna make us redo it because we were going too fast. What do you mean? Like
Oh yeah. I told him you're punishing me for doing good.
that's,
I was like, I'm ahead. What? I'm
it's
sure the
just it was
I'm sure
it
there
was
was
so scary.
what? And then
Oh,
oh Jesus, man, I don't understand. I don't understand how any of these things, like if we legitimately sat down and wrote in detail what happened, I don't understand how any of this is allowed. Like,
and it only gets worse through the years.
it really does.
Like that was what, sophomore year? Then you get to junior year. Well, like let's keep going down the timeline. Who else did we have issues with? Trying to think.
Yellow.
Miss
Yellow.
is kind of insane, and she's the
Miss
vice principal. So
Miss
Yellow. Hogwarts.
Not gonna lie, most people don't know this. They were born in 1917, and they taught the school system back in the day. I actually believe that they would every muscle in their being holds back from beating us with rulers. I don't understand what they're such Nazis about everything. Oh, well, that's. I'm like, huh? Well, I constantly wasn't allowed to sit next to my girlfriend. It's like, why? Well, this and that. Because new rule that the school made, because I'm the vice principal now, you can't sit next to the same gender. And I was like, or opposite
oh my
gender.
god, you want to
Well,
start talking about new rules?
our class is 70% girls, so good luck with that.
Oh, actually, I know what you're talking about. I do remember them making it so that like you had to not sit next to the opposite gender.
Yeah.
I remember that because I was in I was in a class like in the back hallway where they first initialized that rule.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was insane.
Yeah, it was. I was annoyed. I was like, "You guys
And
don't
the
ever
whole
tell."
gender thing just kept getting worse. Now, to be fair, the rule that I'm about to bring up had good reason to be made, but the rule itself is not a way to fix the problem at hand. Do you guys remember the hallway rule? Where they literally cut off all the hallways?
Oh, I remember that.
Only two of the
With
four.
people with like pedophiles and stuff.
2 of the 4, Alex, but the 2 of the 4 that I needed. I needed those hallways. It's a 4 hallway.
The whole school
Like,
is 4 hallways.
you know, and it was insane because, to be fair, yes, a a student that was in ninth grade had some inappropriate behavior with a girl from eighth grade. Now, getting into the whole morality of it all in general, that's a whole other topic because technically they were in the same class the year before that, but still,
Yeah.
it's still inappropriate. So I get that it's an issue, but to have one student do that and then change the rule for everybody, every other student in the school. They
Yeah.
made it so that we couldn't walk. I had 2 hallways that I had to get to, and I couldn't walk through either of them to get to 3 of my classes. I had to go outside of the school, walk around the whole ass building, and wait outside. Because then, after they did the hallway rule, it only got worse. You remember? They started
Yeah.
initializing spots that you had to wait in, and if you weren't in that spot, you weren't allowed in
You
class.
can't be in this area of the hallway. Like my drama class was in the middle school hallway. Like they had the middle school hallway and they had the high school hallway, but some kids had classes in both hallways, so they had to make
Mhm.
spots for it. But the problem was my class was in the middle school like every classroom was for middle schoolers over there. My teacher was
Yeah.
a middle school teacher. She taught drama.
Yep.
So I kept going over, and people kept, where are you going, Sage? I'm like, to drama? Oh, well, you can't go over there. That or I got it. This is the way to go to the class. When you, I don't.
Yeah, I had the same issue because I was in a yearbook, and yearbook was in the middle school hallway as well. So for yearbook, they actually had the waiting area outside by the lunch tables, and the only issue with that was twice, literally twice, we had the teacher forget to come get us. And so we literally, all of the students in yearbook waited out on the tables, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. Teacher never shows up. Finally, Miss
Yellow.
of all people, speak of the devil, she comes and sees that we're still waiting outside, and she gets super pissed. Like she comes out and she's like, "So what are y'all doing out here?" And we're like, "Waiting for our teacher." She goes, "Haha, right, nice story, okay." And she starts claiming that we're skipping class. And she starts talking about how she's gonna expel every single one of us for skipping class. The teacher didn't show up. One of the times, the teacher wasn't even on campus anymore.
Okay.
It was so weird. It was Miss
Oklahoma.
you know, the younger one. She was she just wasn't there one day. Like she left right before our class. So we waited outside again, got in trouble again, getting threatened to get expelled. And so we were like, "No, we haven't seen her anywhere." And so she takes one of us
Yellow.
to go to the class. We go in and she's not there, and they start searching the whole school. It turns out she just left and didn't tell anybody because she was having a personal day. It was just absolutely insane. And the school hasn't gotten any better since we left. There's obviously new rules and such that are changing after we left because my brother and sister still go there. What was it? The new craziest one to me was the whole they found out that there were 2 boys making out in the bathroom. So
That's why the door needs to be open.
not just open. Do you know what happens there, Alex? From what I understand, unless they've changed it back to the old ways because of how much of a garbage rule this is, when they found out that guys were making out in the bathroom, they made it so that only one person at a time could use the bathrooms. You had to go to the office to get the key and then go to the bathroom from there.
That's not how that works.
I was like, what do you can't do that. That's not how that works. And the school's super biased too. That's the thing. Like if this was a woman thing that happened, they would have never gotten the same rule.
No, yeah, absolutely.
They also had a rule recently put in where you have to be at class at a specific time. Where, like, say the class was at 1:30, Becca tried to go to name the Bible teacher.
Onion Man. Onion Man.
Becca tried to go to
Onion Man.
class, and She got there at 1:30, walks in the class, and
Onion Man.
says, "Sorry, Becca, you're late. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're late. You're gonna get marked 0 for participation today." And she's like, "What do you mean I'm late? It's 1:30." And he goes, "Yeah, but you're 35 seconds past 1:30,
I'm sorry.
meaning you're late." I was like, "Huh? What do you mean? She's 35 seconds past 1:30."
What?
You're telling me it's been a minute, or it's an hour, 30 and 35 seconds, and that means she's late, even though the clock still says 1:30.
I don't the ball, even when it wasn't like that, it was still bad, but of course. But I don't understand the premise of, well, you guys are just bad kids. We're just gonna keep making rules instead of respecting others' beliefs. I don't I don't understand that. Like I get it. Oh, but being gay is wrong in Christian belief. Like I get that, but that's your personal belief. That should not affect the school. And I know that's aside from the time thing, but if they're kissing, then it's a PDA thing. You treat it like anybody else. You don't just say, "Oh,
Yeah,
well now none of them go in the bathroom," because guys, the PDA thing was there because people would like make out in the halls and stuff like that, and so it
there were
helped.
literally accounts of people having sex in the bathrooms,
Exactly, and
and
that's
they
yeah,
would do the uh, PDA rule for that. But then the moment two guys are making out, then they completely changed how they portray the rules.
yep, and that's it's bias, like you were saying.
Oh, it's completely biased.
It's bias. It's I'm right and you're wrong. I guess that was a problem I had like my senior year when I was talking to when Ms.
Yellow.
make us write a little letter to appreciate our parents. I was like, well, that's a very ignorant thing. That's to say that all of our parents are the only reason we're here. There isn't a single person out here who has a bad situation with their parents. There's not someone whose parent has died. Oh, but that's not the same. Your father raised you all on his own and this and that. Yeah, but you specifically made it out to be mom and dad. And what if I don't respect my parents? Oh, well, that's your problem. So you're still going to you're going to make me do personal decisions
Mhm.
intrusive personal decisions because you
Well,
can.
they even started doing. There were even issues with how they portrayed faith-based things. Like they would take our faith that we had and uh, skew it, like with what's her name?
Taco.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
The contract to God Himself. You
I was about that.
you had that, right, Alex? You had that too?
Yes, I was there for that day.
Yeah. Oh my. I couldn't believe this crap. Contract, literally to this day, I've never forgotten what it said. It said, "I promise that in every aspect of my life, I will not sin or lie ever again. I promise you, God." What?
I'm so sorry.
And she said, "If you're not gonna sign it, you're going home now. Like you're going to the office and you're staying there."
Bet.
Uh, wh- I what? All of us had issues with it. You got yours back or changed. I got mine back because my father stepped in and was like, "No, that's not how the Bible works." you know, there's
I didn't get mine changed. I just literally sat there and she said, "I raise your hand or whatever if you're not gonna do this." And I was like, I'm obviously not gonna do it." And then she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because it's ridiculous. I don't believe in it." Oh, well, then go ahead and go to the office. Stood up and left. I was like, well, no, yeah. I mean,
I
yeah, I'm
was
not
so
going to
happy
be
you left.
stiff armed and oppressed into belief that's garbage. If you told me, like, that's the thing I have an issue with. If you said, hey, Sage, stoplights are red. Yes, they are. No, they have to be red. You have to agree right now they're red. Do you believe they're red? I'd be like, well, of course they're red. Even if I believe in it, yeah, it's red. But I'm not going to sit here and, like, oh, yeah, they're red. Yep. Yep, that's my religion. They're red. Like, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's so dumb. That's not how beliefs or religion should be. That's oppressive behavior. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It was insane, and there was so much just with that school, and like the main issue with that school is that they're all just a bunch of hypocrites, like straight up,
Yep,
you know.
absolutely.
Because I understand that the education system is difficult, and high schoolers, I'm not denying the fact that high schoolers are a bunch of dumbasses. But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, everything that we fought for during our high school years was ridiculous behavior. Like, when you're giving us higher than a college level of work, when you're asking us to promise God that we're never going to sin again, when you tell us rules that aren't actually true, you
Yeah.
know, that's the things that we would fight for. If you
Yep.
were enforcing rules that were actually valid, then I would understand where you were coming from, because high schoolers are idiots.
Yeah.
But when you're gonna sit there and say that, oh, we want to teach you to love others and do unto others as you would do to yourself, because so says the Bible. It's like,
But wait,
shouldn't you be? Wait, huh? you know?
shouldn't the most important people be the people you don't agree with, not the ones you hate or oppose or any garbage like that? It's
Absolutely.
ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
You have other issues, Alex, that you remember or can bring up that we haven't said yet?
I feel like there was one, but I don't think so.
It's insane. And obviously, like I said, the students were no better. Like, we had so many cases of students being idiots, people leaving field trips during the field trips to go have sex with each other.
I mean, that's
You
just high
know,
school.
yeah, but like I said, that's just high school. Like I said, the kids are idiots. People
Yeah,
putting condoms on lockers.
that
That
was
was kind of funny.
hilarious. That's
That
funny.
was hilarious.
The school tried getting someone in trouble. I'm like, I'm sorry. What are you gonna do? DNA test it? What are you gonna do? It's a brand new one, smart guy. There's nothing on it. I don't understand. Who did it? Yeah, I'm gonna confess to that. Thanks. Give me detention for eternity. Yep, or not detention, but whatever they. I don't even remember what they had.
They had you had to like vacuum the halls and stuff.
Oh yeah, I had to do that because I what did I do? I I think I butterfly kissed Caroline or something stupid.
Oh.
I was like, bet.
Yeah, we actually, did I ever tell you guys that me and Kaylee got PDA'd the first year of high school?
Quality.
The first year, like, because I remember we went into the principal's office, but it wasn't
Ben 10.
at the time. It was
Polka dot. Polka dot.
yeah. Um yeah, Miss
Polka dot.
just brought us in and she was like, "Yeah, I don't want you guys to, like, I don't want to get you guys in trouble because you seem like good kids, but you need to know that this is against the rules, that you're being all touchy, grabby, blah blah blah." Like, wait, wait, side hugging and holding hands as you're allowed to do in the loud? Huh?
Huh?
Because then, the next couple years they changed the rules. That was what another thing that pissed me off. That every single year they adapted the rules to change because the kids kept finding loopholes.
They were like, oh yeah, that doesn't. It's not even a loophole. It's a blatant lie. Oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. Not even a loophole. No, I'm allowed to do this. No, you're not. It says it right here. I'm allowed to do it in the book. Oh well, I don't care. You're not allowed to do it. What? I'm sorry. What? You made us like sit in a 45-minute thing because people are like having sex in the bathroom. Then you're gonna sign a new thing, and I was like, well, that's dumb. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it was absolute.
Well,
Well, I mean, do we have any other stories? Any other things that we found were absolute garbage? I'm trying to think, because if not, we've hit a good time limit.
The only stuff
Um,
would be limitations on news.
Yeah,
yeah.
news was ridiculous. Like, yeah, that was ridiculous. I remember we were doing a Halloween episode, and it was just supposed to be like a Scooby Doo intro. That's it. Like, we were gonna have costumes for the episode, but that wasn't really the important part because we were gonna do a Scooby Doo intro.
Yeah.
And I brought my monkey mask, my gorilla mask, and we were recording the intro, and Miss
Yellow.
comes out, sees that I'm wearing the mask, and she gets super pissed, and she starts saying, "We don't support that here." And I was like, wait, what? And she goes, we don't support that. That's against our religion or something. And I was like, what do you mean? It's a monkey. Like Scooby Doo. Like it's Scooby Doo of all things, you know? It's not like I was like praising Satan. I didn't understand. I was so confused, and I had to take it off and put on those ridiculous goggles. I was so confused. Like they got mad at the monkey mask, and then there was also just the whole fact that we tried to do 5-minute episodes, like 5-minute episodes, because that was the restriction they gave, and they just kept saying, "Oh no, that's too long. It's not like important information, so you need to cut it down to 3 minutes." But like you can't fit anything in 3 minutes other than announcements. And I understand where they were coming from, that they wanted it to just be announcements,
Yeah.
but like that wasn't the point of news. News, or is it, came from media class, and the whole point of media class was to learn media and produce media productions. It wasn't like if you even take news completely out of the picture, the whole point of that class was to do media incorporated things.
Yeah.
So that was the whole point of news, is because not only were we going to be able to produce what we're learning into an adaptation where we're showing the kids what's going on every week, but we're also just learning and practicing and getting better. We all learned how to edit and use things and act, and it became really fun, and it was part of the class. It was for a grade. And then you
Accurate.
tell me I can't wear a monkey mask because that's worshiping the devil?
I
What?
don't. Hey, I'm gonna go inside real quick to pick up Caroline. Are we gonna be on the call for a hot minute longer?
Not really, no. We were going to pretty
No.
much end it right here anyway.
Oh, okay. I mean, if we want to stay on, that's cool. I mean, I'm having a hoot and a half.
Well, we're pretty much at the time limit for a regular episode, so I think we're going to probably call it quits anyway.
Yeah, I'm
Alright.
ready to record another episode of Syndicate.
Bro, that sounds like fun. Are you
Well, that
uploading
being
those tomorrow?
said,
Lit.
an episode for me will be out tomorrow. I don't know about Alex.
Oh, lit. Okay, cool.
Tomorrow I'm
Yeah.
uploading Bioshock.
All right. Well, thank
Well,
you
for
guys so much for watching. This is Prime Master J. Hitting you,
PJ
Prime Master J in the
Podcast.
pastry. Later, guys.
Oh my god. I'll see you guys later. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week for another episode of the PJ Podcast. Bye.